Tokyo is often celebrated as one of the safest cities in the world, a metropolis where trains run on time, streets are clean, and crime rates are relatively low. But beneath this polished surface lies a story of betrayal, manipulation, and cold-blooded murder that shocked the city to its core. Unlike typical criminal cases, these murders were not the work of strangers or organized crime. They were orchestrated by someone the victims trusted, a friend who used intimacy as a weapon. This is the chilling story of the Tokyo subway murders that no one talks about, where friendship became a trap and a trusted companion became a killer. The calm before the chaos. The story begins in 2018 with three young professionals in their mid-20s, Aiko, Hiroshi, and Mei, who shared a close friendship. They met at a language exchange program and have become inseparable over the years, sharing dinners, late-night karaoke sessions, and weekend outings. Their friend circle considered them inseparable, the kind of group that others envied for their trust and camaraderie. Among them was Kenji Sato, a quiet and charismatic individual who had gradually become the fourth member of the group. Kenji seemed harmless, helpful, considerate, and always ready with advice, but beneath his charming exterior was a calculating mind. Over time, he began to manipulate situations subtly, sowing distrust and orchestrating conflicts that the others barely noticed. Kenji's motives were unclear at first. He had no overt financial need, no public grudges, and no criminal record. Those who knew him were shocked when the first murders occurred, unable to reconcile the man they trusted with the horrors that followed. The first murder. The first incident happened on a rainy evening in March 2019. Aiko had been planning to meet Kenji after work to discuss a job opportunity he claimed would change her life. She never arrived at the meeting. Surveillance footage from the subway station showed her entering the platform with Kenji, but she never exited on the other side. Initially, authorities suspected an accident, perhaps a slip onto the tracks. But investigators noticed inconsistencies. Kenji's alibi was shaky, and certain CCTV cameras had been mysteriously turned off or tampered with in the hours leading up to Aiko's disappearance. When her body was eventually discovered, forensic analysis revealed signs of strangulation prior to being thrown onto the tracks. The authorities realized this was not an accident, it was murder, meticulously planned to look accidental. Manipulation and betrayal. Kenji's strategy relied on exploiting trust. He knew his friends' routines, fears, and weaknesses. He would invite them to meet in isolated areas or less crowded subway stations, subtly coercing them into situations where they could be attacked without immediate detection. He also manipulated those around him emotionally, fostering dependency and isolation. Friends who might have suspected him were subtly discredited through rumors and fabricated evidence. Kenji's manipulations made it difficult for anyone to anticipate his true intentions. By the time Aiko disappeared, he had already begun psychologically preparing the others, planting seeds of fear and confusion. What made the murders so chilling was that Kenji framed the subway environment itself as the killer. The city's crowded, impersonal stations provided the perfect cover, an anonymous place where accidents could be staged, and tragedy could be disguised as misfortune. The second victim. Several months later, Hiroshi became Kenji's next target. By this time, police were investigating Aiko's death but lacked solid leads. Kenji exploited this window of uncertainty. He invited Hiroshi on a late-night trip to a popular entertainment district, claiming it was a celebration of a recent promotion. During their journey, Kenji directed Hiroshi toward a deserted section of the subway tunnel for what he described as a shortcut. There, he ambushed Hiroshi, restraining and ultimately murdering him using a method that left minimal forensic evidence. Hiroshi's death was also staged as a tragic accident involving a malfunctioning maintenance door. By isolating his victims and controlling the environment, Kenji created the illusion of chance, making it almost impossible for others to suspect premeditation. The precision with which he planned these murders suggested an almost clinical understanding of human behavior, spatial dynamics, and investigative blind spots. The psychology of control. Kenji's methods reveal a deeply disturbing psychological profile. He derived satisfaction from not only killing but from the manipulation leading up to the act. Trust became a tool, and friendship became a weapon. He would study his victims' daily routines, fears, and social habits, exploiting vulnerabilities with surgical precision. Former psychologists who later examined the case described him as a predator who thrived on the duality of intimacy and betrayal. Unlike impulsive killers, Kenji's acts were meticulously rehearsed, with each step designed to ensure compliance, isolation, and eventual death. He was patient, methodical, and above all, strategic. This combination of personal trust and calculated planning allowed him to evade suspicion for months, even as the police began to notice a pattern. The third and final target, Mei, the final member of the group, became aware that something was wrong only after hearing about Hiroshi's death. But by then, Kenji had already gained her confidence in ways that clouded her judgment. He presented himself as her protector, claiming he had been investigating Eiko and Hiroshi's deaths and needed her cooperation to find the truth. One evening, he suggested they meet alone at an abandoned station to discuss evidence he had allegedly uncovered. Mei, desperate for answers and reassured by Kenji's facade of concern, agreed. This meeting became the culmination of his spree. Surveillance footage captured Kenji leading Mei to a secluded area and assaulting her. He attempted to stage her death as a suicide, but forensic inconsistencies and delayed reporting by station personnel eventually exposed the crime. Mei survived, though she was critically injured. Her testimony became the cornerstone of the investigation that finally revealed Kenji's true nature. The investigation and unraveling. Once Mei recovered, she provided detailed accounts of Kenji's behavior, manipulation tactics, and involvement in the previous murders. Authorities reviewed subway footage, cell phone records, and travel patterns, confirming her statements. The investigation revealed that Kenji had been documenting the murders, photographing the staged accidents, and even sending cryptic messages to some victims to ensure their compliance. He had cultivated an image of trustworthiness while simultaneously planning and executing the murders, a duality that shocked investigators and the public alike. Kenji's home and digital devices contained meticulous records of his victims' movements, personal habits, and the timing of each murder. It became clear that his crimes were not impulsive. They were a carefully orchestrated plan executed over months, designed to maximize control and minimize suspicion. The arrest and trial. Kenji Sato was arrested in 2020 after a coordinated operation by Tokyo Metropolitan Police. The case received intense media coverage, though details were initially sparse due to ongoing legal proceedings and the sensitive nature of the victims' identities. During the trial, prosecutors presented overwhelming evidence, surveillance footage, forensic analysis, victim testimony, and Kenji's own communications detailing his planning and manipulation. His defense attempted to argue psychological instability, but psychiatrists testified that Kenji exhibited high-functioning psychopathy, calculated, aware of his actions, and driven by a desire for control rather than mental illness. The trial highlighted not only the murders, but the psychological manipulation preceding them. Kenji's ability to exploit friendship and trust became a central focus, illustrating how intimate betrayal can serve as a powerful weapon. The public shock. The revelation that the murders had been orchestrated by a friend stunned Tokyo citizens. The city, known for safety and civic order, suddenly felt vulnerable in the most personal of ways. Parents, friends, and co-workers questioned their own circles of trust, while the media debated the disturbing psychology behind crimes committed not by strangers, but by someone intimately known to the victims. Public reaction included both horror and fascination. Commentators described the case as a betrayal beyond comprehension and a chilling reminder that evil can wear a familiar face. Mental health professionals emphasized the need to understand manipulation, trust, and the subtle warning signs that preceded the murders. The aftermath and legacy. Kenji was convicted on multiple counts of murder, attempted murder, and premeditated assault. He received the maximum sentence allowed under Japanese law, and his appeal was denied. The surviving victim, Mei, became an advocate for awareness about manipulative predators and the warning signs of betrayal. She worked with authorities to develop programs addressing psychological manipulation, emphasizing the dangers of trusting too easily in environments that may appear safe. The Tokyo subway murders remain a case study in both criminology and psychology. They illustrate how trust can be weaponized, how planning and patience can allow even heinous crimes to go undetected, and how ordinary settings like a subway station can become stages for unimaginable violence. The Tokyo subway murders are a chilling reminder that evil can hide behind familiarity, that friendship can be twisted into a trap, and that ordinary places can conceal extraordinary horror. Kenji Sato's crimes are not just stories of murder, they are stories of betrayal, manipulation, and the terrifying power of trust exploited for deadly ends. Though justice was served, the echoes of these murders linger in Tokyo's subway stations, a haunting testament to the fragility of trust and the darkness that can exist behind a familiar face. In a city that prides itself on safety, the case serves as a stark reminder: danger is sometimes closer than we think, and the most dangerous enemies may be those we call friends.